Good evening, everyone. We'll be getting started here shortly. We want to welcome you to the National Trust Institute Wealth Preservation presentation tonight. So guys, if you here for the first time, I want to welcome you. Thank you all for joining in. My name is Claudia Richardson, all the way from Dallas, Texas. It's a pleasure to be with all of you with the Cash Flow NFT. I want to welcome you all to the call. Excited. I was very excited to spend some time with you all a couple of weekends ago in Miami. Was blown away at the energy level, as well as the people that were on fire about this incredible program. And so we are excited to come to you tonight to kind of button up that whole situation as far as being able to show you how to preserve that wealth and to protect the assets as well. So again,
Clardy, this is Micah. Should I make you host, or is Brenda coming on as well?
You're gonna make me host at first, Micah, and then how you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm good. All right.
Good,
so I just wanted to turn it over to you so you have control.
Absolutely. And I'm gonna
you host right now.
Okay, perfect.
Awesome. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Is it coming soon? Oh, cool. Who are you? Oh, yeah. He needs it.
Okay, guys, as I was saying, this is C. Rich, all the way from Dallas, Texas. I want to welcome you to the National Trust Institute Wealth Preservation platform, and we'll be getting started here in just a few moments. Just allowing for everyone to join us. Can you guys hear me okay? If you will. Awesome. If you will, when you get on, if you will, mute yourself. I'd like to keep it open if possible, but we may have to meet the call shortly. I see it's a good crowd that's coming on, so that is awesome. So let's make sure that we pay attention to our background noise, and then hold your questions to the end, because we will have a time for questions and answers as well. And then we'll be getting started from there. So let's see here. Housekeeping. All right. Let me do that. All right. Well, guys, we're going to get started here in just a few more moments. Again, I want to thank you all for joining us tonight. Thank you, Micah and Ray, the whole Cash Flow NF team, for allowing us an opportunity to share this information with your incredible community, because community is everything. And so sometimes, you have to be careful who you allow into your community. So we do not take it for granted, the opportunity to be able to share what we feel is going to be life-changing, because it was definitely life-changing for me. Real quick story behind just for me while we're waiting for a few people to join. Background has been real estate for the last, since 1999, actually, but been self-employed since 1992. I've been what they call a serial entrepreneur. And guys, if you know what I mean, we've done quite a few things, been in the MLM space since 1987. So we're not new to this. And one of the biggest, we call kryptonite, and some of you can understand and even get a witness with it. One of the biggest things, right, is dealing with the tax side of everything. We kind of look at the tax piece as almost like the kryptonite. I'm just like from a self-employed person. We just like, man, that is the challenge that we all have had over the years, is trying to make sure that we keep Uncle Sam out of our bank accounts, because my uncle wouldn't take money from me like that, but they call him Uncle Sam here in the U.S. So with that being said, when I found out about this platform, this program, I got really excited, because it's what I definitely needed. You're talking to a person at one point where the IRS said that I owed over 700-something thousand in taxes. So when you get that phone call or that letter, it kind of it scares you, but thank God and glory to be, it was a IRS enrolled agent that saved my life. And that was my first introduction to that. And so I'm excited to share with you all and talk to you about my business partner, Ms. Brenda Hill, who is a Enroll IRS agent who you all will be hearing from tonight as well. So get ready. If you haven't got your coffee or something to drink, something to relax, just sit back, take good notes, and get ready for what we call a life-changing experience. And I want to introduce to some and present to others none other than the National Trust Institute Wealth Preservation Program. And guys, when we talk about the National Trust Institute and what it's all about, you all will be excited to know that, being a person that one of the biggest reasons that I settled myself as a trustee in this particular type of trust was dealing with the tax side of it. So there's different sides of it. You want to have an asset protection piece, but then also you want to use it as a tax strategy. So I want to introduce to some and present to others what we call a non-grantor, irrevocable, discretionary, complex spendthrift trust, which is designed specifically for both asset protection and, as well as I said, tax reduction. The secret to success, and you all are gonna learn this if you haven't heard it before, is to own nothing but control everything. When I first heard that, own nothing, we always want to own stuff. We want to put our name on it, right? Well, here we're going to share with you the wealthy own nothing, but they control everything. So guys, we're talking about the ultimate and what we classify as a tax strategy. We're talking about, an asset protection. We're talking about where this particular trust is not subject, watch this, to tax liens and levies are issued against the beneficiaries or the trustees. We're not talking about, you don't have to worry about divorce, alimony, child support, creditors, governmental agencies, or third-party claims, right? Because we're talking about this particular trust is not subject to eminent domain. When it comes to real estate, and they can come and say that we need this part of your front yard because we're going to bring a highway right through there. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? If your assets is in a particular trust that we're going to share with you, you're not subject to that. You're not subject to court jurisdictions, turnover orders, except when it comes to fraudulent conveyance, and we'll talk about that. But that should have been an exciting time. We're talking about a trust, ladies and gentlemen, that is defined by Black's law as a trust as an equitable or beneficial right or title to land or other property held by one party for the benefit of another. The trustees hold the legal and equitable title to the property for the benefit of the beneficiaries. Ladies and gentlemen, we all have heard of Joe Kennedy, Mitt Romney, some of us, and President Donald Trump. Well, Joseph Kennedy established a dynasty trust back in 1936, right? When he was bootlegging alcohol or whatever else he was doing, right? And he wanted to protect it and avoid taxes, right? Through a trust, and he called it the Dynasty Trust. Mitt Romney established an internationally defective grantors trust that avoids gift tax. President Donald Trump establishes a blind trust to hide his business assets. Since the trust is a contract, now hear me when I say this, it is a contract which the drafting of is only limited by one's imagination. It should be conceivable that a super trust could be drafted that avoids almost all taxes. Let's talk about that, right? We're talking about making it where you are lawsuit proof, right? Because lawsuit settlements can tap into your business and your personal assets. It can pierce the corporate veil, your C Corp, S Corp, LLCs. If the assets are protected in the trust, the claimant can only recover the amount of the insurance policy. Think about that. We're talking about, a dog bite could cost you over 6.9 million, a car accident over 49 million. Just think about just someone wanting to get in your pocket. That's why it's so important is to to own nothing but control everything. Proof that it's not too good to be true. Proof that it's more than just possible. proof that is being done every day, let's talk about Amazon. We all know who Amazon is. We all know who IBM, Netflix are among the 60 companies on the Fortune 500 list that pay zero, ladies and gentlemen, zero in federal taxes in 2018, according to a new report. Amazon will pay zero in taxes on $11 billion in profit for 2018. How is that even possible? And we're trying to what? Make sure we keep all the hundreds of thousands, in some cases millions of dollars. And here he is, got billions, and not having to deal with paying taxes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we want to talk about legally reduced tax because we do.
Damn.
I'm sorry, if you will, Mr. Wilson, would you please mute yourself? Everyone heard that. Thank you, brother. So if you think about what I'm sharing with you guys is that we want to talk about legally reducing your taxes. We utilize a one-of-a-kind registered copyrighted spendthrift trust, which defers taxes legally per the Internal Revenue Code. This trust document is written to defer and minimize income and state taxes to the fullest extent of the IRC code. Okay, guys, let me just unmute. If you will, come on, please mute yourself. We did have everyone muted, but I see that a few of you have unmuted. That's okay. Here we go. All right. Sorry about that. So we're talking about the trust documents written to defer and minimize the income and estate taxes to the fullest extent of the Internal Revenue Code. We're talking about zero gray areas, zero capital gains until distributed, and simplifying the accounting process. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we know that when we're trying to limit our taxes, we do all types of things, right? To take off those what we call those, all the misrepresentations of income and expenses that are shown and tied 100% to the following return. We're talking about dealing with your business income tax return, your trust income tax return, your personal income tax return. None of the thousands of returns that have been prepared by accountants have ever been flagged for what? Examination. Why? Because tax evasion is illegal when you talk about intentional omissions, improper deductions, false allocations, improper credits or exemptions, concealment of assets, a lot of things people do to try to keep from showing how much they have made. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Tax avoidance, according to the IRS handbook, is legal. Matter of fact, any attempt to reduce, minimize, or alleviate taxes by legitimate means is permissible. That's why you hear people that go to jail for tax evasion, and people who, like, Robert Kiyosaki and others that talk about that they don't pay taxes. It's all about doing it the way that the system was created for you to do. So let's talk about the history of our trust. The history formed from a registered copyright granted in 1999, 2012, updated in 2017. These trust formats have been in use for more than 18 years, and actually longer than that, but as far as the representation that we are bringing to you, 18 years. Over 30,000 of our trusts are currently in existence. We're talking about it's designed by a collaboration. Now watch this, because everybody wonder, how is this even done? When you took tax attorneys, CPAs, trust attorneys, contract attorneys, it took over 12 years to perfect this document. And we're talking about being able to the payment of taxes is deferred until sometime in the future when the trust assets are distributed. These trusts were written for the primary purpose of both asset protection and tax reduction. So when we talk about being compliant, it complies with the Scott Trust Law, Uniform Trust Code, the Restatement of Third of Trust, Internal Revenue Code. It conforms with all contracts, trust, and tax law in all 50 states. So, ladies and gentlemen, what makes our trust unique? Well, first of all, the registered copyrighted key is based on a combination of 5 unique, and we now have 7, but the 5 that we're going to talk about tonight is the irrevocable, non-grantor, dual, complex, and discretionary spendthrift trust provisions, which gives you, the trustee, complete control. You manage the assets, you make the investments, and you make the banking decisions. The compliance overseer, which you can be as well, adds and removes trustees and beneficiaries as need be. When we talk about being irrevocable, the terms of the trust agreement cannot be modified, amended, or revoked. Assets transferred to the trust may never revert to the one who is making the endowment, which is the settler, which we'll talk about that, and you'll learn about that by being a part of the National Trust Institute and how that all works. Separating the settler from the corpus of the trust. We're talking about grantors and non-grantors. A lot of times people, when they go and think of a trust, and they always say, oh yeah, I have a trust. See, Rich, yeah, I got a trust. Well, it's the creator of the trust who generally has the management or the corpus or is a beneficiary of the trust. Most grantor trusts are called living trusts, which have limited benefits, no asset protection, and no tax advantages. We're here to talk about the right way, and that is non-grantor, which exempts the trust from any alter ego status, right? That brings into action the management of the beneficial enjoyment by the settler. So we're going to talk about all of this. You'll learn about all this because being and owning one of this, not owning, but being the trust of one of these, the trustee of one of these trusts over the last 3 years, it's important to know what to do, how to do it, and how to play. And that's where the National Trust Institute came in at, because we want to talk about keeping everything discretionary, which ensures the absolute and sole discretionary power of the trustee in determining the distribution of the income and or the principles to the corpus and or to the beneficiaries of the trust. There is no requirement to distribute income. So there's a lot here, and we're going to unpack that as we go through the process. And one of the biggest parts of our trust is the spendthrift provision, which is a critical element of the document, in that no spendthrift trust, watch this, corpus may be penetrated to reach the assets of the corpus, meaning that nobody can come in and take what's in the trust because you have a lawsuit or a claim or someone is saying that it's theirs. If it's in the trust, it's in the trust. No judge or court may issue a turnover order against a properly constructed spend-through trust, with one exception, ladies and gentlemen, and that's just fraudulent conveyance, meaning that if you are already in a lawsuit, then the only exception that they could go in and take something from you is because you put it in a trust to avoid the judgment after you already have been in that. So the legal transfer of property to another party in order to defer, hinder, defraud creditors, or to put such property out of the reach of a creditor, ladies and gentlemen, that is the only thing that will allow this trust to be penetrated. So you must have a trust in place before any lawsuit is officially filed to be protected. So guys, never be deceived that the rich, hear me when I say this, never be deceived that the rich will allow you to vote away their wealth. So for those of you that's wondering, can they change the laws? Will the laws be changed? Well, guys, ladies, gentlemen, right? When this trust was established, it was established, the IRS code, it was built around it. The trust was already there before the IRS code was even established. The wealthy already operated through trust. So when they built the IRS code, one of the things that they looked out for was what? The wealthy. And they're not going to allow you to vote that away. As a matter of fact, there was a portion, of those of you that watched the presidential debate back when Donald Trump was running and Hillary Clinton, there was a scene or a part in that debate where he said that if you all did not like the way that I was doing my taxes, then you should have changed the law. And he said, but you're not going to change it. Why? Because you all are taking advantage of taking benefit of the same advantages that I'm taking benefits of. And I might just have smarter CPAs and attorneys than you do. He was that bold to make that statement. But ladies and gentlemen, there was some truth to that. And of course, we wanted to know, and we found out, here we are. That's why we're here today, to show you what the wealthy have known and had and used as a way, as an instrument to allow them to defer taxes and to be able to build their wealth to leave a legacy for their family. Well, what about you? How about you doing the same thing? Well, guys, as I talked to you about before, there's two sides of this. You have the legal aspect of asset protection, but you have the tax reduction strategy. And I'm excited to introduce you. Some of you you had an opportunity to meet her last week, and we're very glad to be a part of the team and the vision behind what we are here to talk about with the National Trust Institute. But again, a enrolled IRS agent saved my life years ago. When, back in 2000, I think it was like 8 or 9, when they told me that I owed over $700 and some thousand in taxes.
Yeah, ma'am.
Enrolled agent stepped in. Yes, ma'am.
Hello?
Yes. I'm sorry. Hold on one second. If you would, please mute yourself. Okay, let me do that for you. All right. Sorry about that, guys. That an enrolled agent stepped in and took that deficit away from me and it saved my life. And so at that point, I always wanted to have my taxes done by an enrolled agent. And then to top it all off, I found out about this incredible trust. And so guys, I want to introduce to some and present to others a young lady who's been in this space now for several years, who's helped thousands of clients navigate through the IRS code. Matter of fact, she went a step further to become a IRS enrolled agent, so that she's able to understand a higher level of the IRS, understanding of the IRS code. And so she's been able to take that gift that God has given her and been a blessing. And it's such a key component, her and her team, that will actually help you navigate through this process along with the National Trust Institute. And the purpose of the National Trust Institute was so that those that can't get her when you need to get her, well, guess what? We're putting it at your fingertips. And we'll talk about that when she gets to. But I want to introduce some, present to others, none other than Miss Brenda Hills. Miss Hills, are you there? Make sure I need to. You may have to come off.
I think I'm on mute.
There you go. We got you.
Great evening, everybody. Thank you, Claudia, for that great introduction and for sharing all of that wonderful information. Guys, everything he said, I just want to say ditto. Ditto to everything that he said. Not only did he share with you about the trust itself, but how his taxes, how an enrolled agent helped him to reduce a 6-figure tax bill. So he was transparent enough to share with you how easy, and I say easy because it's what I do every day, how easy it is to get out of situations when we understand strategies, when we understand IRC codes, when we understand what's been written that is written for our benefit if we would just go seek out and find it. So I want to talk to you just a little bit this evening. I'm still here in the office. It's been a long day. God is good. I'm here with you, and I just want to share some strategies with you before we just get into talking about information. All of that he shared is great. As I said, I ditto it, but I want to talk to you about how real people in real time every day is using this instrument, and this instrument is working. When I tell you it is working, it's all about how you use it. It's all about having an understanding of it. It's all about understanding and knowing the terminologies behind it and knowing the IRC codes. So I want to talk to you, just tell you a quick little story, because I know some of you guys are overseas and you're dealing with cash flow NFT, and you're wondering how could this benefit me and I don't live on American soil. As Claudia stated earlier, all trusts are not created equal. Trusts are created for the benefit of another. The law doesn't say you have to be a US citizen to operate in the corpus of a trust, to be a trustee of the trust. So I will say that. And I want to share this story with you of one of my clients without calling their name. He's in Sweden, and he currently operates in buying and selling of real estate. Yes, he has some properties here in the US, but majority of his properties are overseas. Sweden has a high tax rate, so I don't know a whole lot about their rules, but I do know about the trust. What we came to agreement on was we set him up in the purpose of the trust. And
Phoebe, your sound went really extremely low and like you're in a tunnel all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's kind of distorted. I was going to send you a message.
okay, Is
There
that,
you
is that better?
Much better.
Much better. My apologies, guys.
Thank
I'm here in my office and we were trying to get some better light and I guess we did some things that hurt rather than help, but nonetheless. But speaking about our client in Sweden, this gentleman used this current trust that we're speaking about, and there are many trusts, guys. We're just speaking to the fact that we are aware of this one and it has so many great benefits that you could use. We don't want to push any trust on you, but we do want to say this is the particular trust that works for the strategies that we will be speaking about on tonight. But this gentleman in Sweden set up this non-grantors, complex, irrevocable, spendthrift, discretionary trust. He's a citizen of Sweden. What he does is when he sells properties, he allows whatever company to flow the money to America into the corpus of the trust. So the trust actually sells the property. He holds this money in the corpus of the trust. Whenever he's ready to use the money, maybe to buy additional properties or maybe to do, maybe to invest it, what he does is a strategy of borrowing, allowing the trust to loan back to him. He submit those loan documents to whatever taxation that Sweden has, and the money that he receives back from the trust in America becomes a loan. And so no, it's no longer taxable. This is a legal strategy. No one is doing anything illegal. It is legal all day long to have a loan and to borrow money. So that's the kind of things we're talking about. Understanding what a trust can do for you. This particular trust, we have many strategies that we could use here. And we talked about deferring taxes. I want to just kind of speak to that for a moment, because most of us being in America, and even if you're not, perhaps you've heard of the 401k plan. Most of us understand that. If we were to go onto irs.gov right now and Google or go into their website and say, pull up the procedures to begin a 401k plan, the first thing that it would tell you to do is create a plan. The second step in creating a 401 plan is to establish a trust. So 401k itself is a trust. The difference between a living trust and 401k is someone else established the trust and allow us, those that use 401k, to send our money to the 401k plan tax deferred. And as long as those dollars are sitting inside of the corpus of that trust, which holds the 401k plan that is created, taxes are deferred. Now, here's what we didn't know as individuals. 401k been doing it for many, many years. We didn't realize that the code in which the 401k keepers or makers or creators of are using IRS code 643. We didn't understand that. We didn't know that. They don't make us study that in school. They didn't make me study that to become an enrolled agent. They don't tell us that. 643B has been there. It's been used by 401k for many, many years. But what we've come to understand now, due to some very smart and intelligent attorneys and accountants that came together to create this and copyright this piece, we've come to understand not only is 643B, A and C and D is for individuals that create 401 plan, it's for any individual that understands this knowledge and begin to move and operate within it. This is what we're saying. We now understand how to make this work for the everyday person. So anyone that do not create a trust, but perhaps come to their accountant, someone, a roll agent or another CPA, and say, hey, I need a strategy. I want to learn how to avoid taxes. I'm making more money. I want to use this money and build legacy for my children and for my children's children and my children's children. So I want to learn how I can make money, create a legacy plan, set it up so that my grandchildren can benefit from it. When you go to your your professional, your practitioner, and they create this plan because you came to them for a strategy. Now it is your practitioner becoming a settler along with the attorney, which makes this component, this entity, a non-grantor's component. And now you have the same identical trust that a 401k is housed in. And you're allowed to send money to the corpus of this trust tax deferred. That's great news. But even greater news is when you have a practitioner or an EA or a CPA or someone that understands, now that I have it in the corpus of the trust, what now? What next? What do I do now? How do I use this money? How do I get the money? Much like 401k, IRS is saying the money is held there. It's deferred. What they're not saying is you'll never pay taxes on it. They're saying it's deferred. They're saying it's deferred until such a time a distribution is made. This is where it gets real good at. When you find practitioners that know how to teach you how to strategize and avoid taxes and avoid distributions. That's right, I said it. There's ways that you can borrow against your money sitting in 401k and use it and not make a distribution so that taxable event will never happen. How do I know? Call the trustee up of your 401k plan and say, hey, I want to borrow against the money I have sitting here. Now that is a non-taxable event. He or she, whoever's the trustee of that, loans the money to you, determines what the interest is going to be, and he sends you the money. It's still a non-taxable event because it's a loan and not a distribution. Now, most of us know about businesses. We have businesses, and because we don't want to pay high IRS tax bills, many times, often we would get tax write-off. I call them expenses or expenditures, but you may call them tax write-offs. So you have a business and you're trying to find everything in the world that would be a tax write-off, an expense to your business. Why? Why is that important? Because expenditures are non-taxable events. So we have a gross revenue and we expense everything out. The bottom line is what we're taxed on. Same great news, guys. So it is with your business, so it is with your trust. Now we have money in the corpus of the trust. We've sent that money over there tax deferred. Now the trust is allowed by the IRC codes to take care of its beneficiaries and to take care of any expenditures the trust may have. Why is that good news? Because as the trustee, let me rephrase, as an appointed trustee, you get to decide what assets you want to convey to the corpus of the trust. So what if I convey my house to the corpus of the trust? What if I send $202 million over to the corpus of the trust at the end of 2023? Throughout 2024, I have now a house that the trust owns. When the house payment is paid out of the money that was sent to the trust, tax deferred, that is now an expenditure to the trust. So we strategize and we convey as many assets to the corpus of the trust. So number one, now we have sent money to the corpus of the trust, strategy, tax deferred. Now, any assets that may have notes or mortgages or things that has to be paid can be paid out of that money that's held in corpus. Why? Because it's an expense to the trust. Also, much like 401k, I have $2 million sitting in the corpus of the trust. I can now be fully transparent with IRS and say I have $2 million. I can also use that $2 million, much like 401k, to invest it, to make more money, not for me, the trustee, but for the beneficiaries for future use. So I'm using the money that is sitting there, tax deferred, to take care of the expenses. I'm using the money to invest and make more money out of it. I'm also using the money, if need be, to I don't make distributions, but I can borrow against it if I ever need it personally. However, if you ever become my client, if you ever get to work with me, I will teach you ways that you own nothing. You control everything. You, the person, the individual, now, not saying this is morally correct, not condoning it, not telling you what to do, but I have clients that have several millions in the corpus of the trust. But these same clients are also eligible for Medicaid and Medicare.
Wow.
They were eligible for the Obamacare. Why? Because the money that was in the corpus of the trust, I am the trustee of the trust. I get to make decisions about that money, but that money do not belong to me. So when I'm saying to whatever government entity, I'm sending my personal return, totally separate,
Beautiful.
totally separate. Also, guys, great news, more strategies. Trust can also own businesses. That's right. I said it, I'll say it again. My LLC is connected to my Coinbase account. It's connected to my crypto account. Who owns my LLC? Royal Legacy Trust owns the LLC. So when I get my NFT from Cashflow NFT, when I receive my dividends, don't hit me, Kathy. When it goes to Coinbase or crypto.com, I'm working on Exodus, Kathy, so don't get me just yet. But when it goes to Coinbase or crypto.com, when it's allocated to there, when they send me a 1099, they will send the 1099 to the EIN number of my LLC. Who owns the LLC? The trust do. So BB Hills, Brenda Hills will not receive a 1099. The LLC will. The K1 will flow over to the trust. The trust gets to decide if I want to make a distribution or if I want to hold it in corpus. Either way is legal. Full transparency to IRS. I never condone holding or hiding anything, because holding or hiding anything is evading taxes. Fully transparent is avoiding taxes. If we find ways to pay no taxes and we tell them about everything, we are in avoidance and not in evasion. I know, great news. Somebody loved it so much they had to shout out loud.
Can you mute
Great
them?
news. I can't, Oscar. If whoever has full control can mute them, that would be awesome. So
It was Lisa. She's muted.
I mean, yeah, thank you.
awesome, awesome. So this is the type of trust that we're talking about. Non-grantors, irrevocable. What's been said, what's in it cannot be revoked. Now, I want to speak to that. Irrevocable merely means the courts can't change anything. Trustee can decide at any given time if they want to move assets in and out of the trust, if they want to sell them, if they want to buy them, if they want to pull them out. Trustee has that right to make those movements. The trustee has the right to change beneficiaries or to add beneficiaries. When I say irrevocable and can't change anything, I'm speaking to the tune of what's been written as far as the provisions are concerned. The court can't change it. Now we have the people that train me in this have many case laws and many case studies where this trust has been attempted to be penetrated, but has never been penetrated, guys. I want to just share a quick little story with you, whether you believe it, whether you receive it or believe O.J. Simpson did it or not. O.J. Simpson was operating in the corpus of a trust as a trustee. He was found not guilty on the crime against his wife, but he was found civilly responsible. Most unfortunate for the parents, for the Goldmans, they were never able to receive anything that a judgment was brought against him personally on. They could see him living in the house. They could see him driving the cars. They could see him enjoying this fancy life, but no judgment was ever executed to take any of those items because they didn't belong to him. He just had control of them. They were not his. They belonged to the trust. Another great thing about trust, this particular trust is not subject to a succession. It's not subject to probate. You have a succession plan that is written inside of the trust. The compliance steward and the trustee will decide when, upon receipt of the documents, and they will put a succession plan in place. Meaning, if something happens to me as trustee, this is the person that will become succeeding trustee. So something happened to the trustee, the succeeding trustee would just take the documents, the certificate of trust, up to the bank. The bank will now remove that trustee's name and put the new trustee's name on, and everything keep rolling. Your kids don't have to wait for succession. Your kids or your loved ones wouldn't have to wait to go through the court's probate system. This trust is exempt from that. We don't go through those things. It's a legacy plan. It's designed to be a legacy plan to go from generations to generations to generations. Guys, it's working. It's working for the elite. It's working for those that have been informed. It's working for those who get involved. And the reason we created NTI was so many people have trust, but really don't understand it. So we decided to come together as a team and say, hey, listen, we want to put this in layman's term for you. We believe that you need to understand what other families have understood for many, many years ago. We believe that you need to know what the Rockefellers know. We believe you need to begin to share with your children that this is what we have, and this is the way that the family money flows. This is the account that the trust owns. These are the accounts that we are trustees of, that we're overseers of. And if something happens to me, you'll become an overseer of it. And this is how you should move. This is how you should flow. This is how you create generational wealth. This is how you preserve wealth for generations to generations to generations to come. And not only that, you get to not have to give somebody 39.9% of your hard work money that you've worked for. I am not allocating that we will never pay taxes. Beloveds, we do. We do on a daily basis. We do when we go to the grocery store. We pay property taxes to help the schools in our areas. We do. Beloved, if you have hearts like ours, we give to those things that are meaningful to us. We give to that. But if the most wealthy is not paying into the system that they created, why should we? If we understand how the system works. So I'm not saying we're going to break the law. I'm saying we're going to understand the law and play the game by their rules, but play it to benefit us. That should be a drop the mic moment if I had one. So I thank you guys for joining me. I thank you for allowing me to share some strategies with you guys this evening. You're, again, as we said in Miami, as Mark said, as I am piggybacking off him, we're all in the right place. We're all in the right place at the right time. Not only did God bless us to be in a position that we could be a part of the Boogie Gopher community, the blessed community, the cash flow NFT community. I am BB Hills. I'm a miracle. Not only am I a miracle, now I'm a part of the miracle team, and we are here to change our lives financially. God is doing amazing things. He's taking us from season to season. So we're here, and not Micah and Ray think so highly of what we're about to make with these platforms that they say, listen, we have to find a piece that we could share with the world what we're doing as far as finances, but be able to help in the places we want to help, preserve for our children and our children's children, as well as pay taxes when it's benefiting and in the places that it's benefiting to our families. It's working, guys. I have about 5,000 people that would ditto me that's in our Empowering Success database saying that it's working for them too. So God bless you guys. I'm going to ask Claudia to hop back on. He's going to share some great news with you about what Micah and Ray is allowing in this season for those that are participants of Cashflow NFT. They have some great news for you, some great specials for you. So of how you can get this instrument, how you can get this instrument before the end of the year, so it can benefit you before the next tax season. So Claudia, will you go ahead and take it back, sir? Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you, Brenda.
Outstanding, outstanding. You know, guys, like I said before, you can hear the knowledge and the information and the passion. What I love about when I met Brenda, I knew that I had found the right one, because here's the deal. Like I said, a enrolled agent saved my life. It really, literally, truly did, because I tell you, when you get that letter, it scares you to death. And so to have that happen, and then for God to place Brenda into my life, not only just do my taxes, but actually kind of walk me through the processes of understanding how to navigate through the trust. And that is so important, and just a beautiful person all around. And so guys, you all will benefit from the relationships that we're bringing to say. I tell you, I'm excited to be working with you all with Cashflow NFT. And then those of you who know and had the pleasure of meeting OG, we call him OG, Oscar Garcia. You know, our team is incredible. This gentleman, you saw what he's doing with you all's website. Well, I tell you, we had him touch up the National Trust Institute site and do some amazing things that as it comes together, I can't wait to share it with you. And what I'm gonna do is pull it up real fast, because I got some exciting news of what the Cashflow is doing for its community that we're excited about. Because I know some of you guys will say, okay, Claudia, all that sounds good, but what does it cost to have something that could be this powerful, right? You know, what does it cost to be able to have an opportunity to tell IRS or to tell whoever your tax entity is that you're going to take those taxes, all of that, and you're going to defer it until perpetuity. You're going to defer that. You're going to do like Robert Kiyosaki with Donald Trump and IBM and all the other guys. You're going to play it like the big boys do it, and you're going to defer that, because you could use those dollars to what? On the corpus of your trust, to build your legacy for your family. So being able to do that, which could be in some cases millions and millions of dollars, what does it cost to do that? Well, the heart that Cashflow NFT wanted to do to the community, to come to the National Trust Institute directly, that would cost you just for one trust, it would be $35,000. And ladies and gentlemen, we have people that are doing that all day long. They don't even have a choice. That's all that they had to offer. Well, when we shared the cost of that with Cashflow, they said that's great, it's definitely worth it, but can you do better? And that's why when you guys came to the table when we were there, it was like everything had to stop, because Micah and Ray, they came together and decided that I think we can do better on that pricing. And we wanted to do something special for the people that attended the event. And guys, what we did was, and this is just it's a short time window here. We don't have a lot, you know, we're not extending this out to everyone, because they can only put so much up for you all. So what we did from the people that attended that event, and they know who you are able to take advantage of the pricing for the trust. And ladies and gentlemen, drum roll, please, if we have one, we're talking about $24,000 is what it's going to cost for you all, compared to the $35,000 that everyone else is having to pay.
Can I jump in real quick?
Yeah, yes, sir. You sure can.
Hey, I really appreciate it, Brenda. You guys did awesome. Yes, whoever was in Miami, and like you said, we know who you are. It is $24,000 for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, for the next 2 weeks. Then we're gonna go to the regular price. But if you weren't in Miami, it's $25,000. Okay, but here's the good news. With everyone involved in this and a part of Cashflow NFT and Boogie Gopher Club, is that this is commissionable, okay, through Cashflow NFT and Boogie Gopher Club. Wow. It is a 3-tier commission. It is if you sell one of these on your team on tier 1, you are going to make $4,000. If a sale comes in on your tier 2, you're going to make $2,000, and then on tier 3 is $1,000. I really appreciate Brenda for working with us, creating that, so that way, I mean, honestly, with this was the perfect marriage. Mike has been searching for a long time, kind of come in and show our community. And we met Brenda and we sat down with her and really kind of did the due diligence. Oscar Garcia brought her to it. I mean, it was, we knew right away. And so again, you can go out and you know, some rich folks, I'll tell you what, they'll leap over the desk to get these, because I know people that pay way more than $25,000 every year on their taxes. But again, congratulations to the ones who were Miami, get that $1,000 discount.
And guys, you heard it directly from Mr. Ray himself, the VP. I couldn't say it any better. And again, we thank them for thinking so much for the community that they wanted to do something special for you guys. And so we're excited about that. What I'm going to do now is I am going to go to the site. Let's see here. So guys, you can see it. Because one thing that you're going to love about this site is that when you look at how simple they wanted to make it for all of us to be able to navigate. So let me make sure I'm there. And okay, let me share my screen. Can you guys see my screen okay?
Got about it.
Wow.
Hold on 1 second, guys. Hold on 1 second. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
sir.
Yes.
All right, awesome. If you will, please stay muted. I'm gonna try to mute everyone again. Keep yourselves muted. So here is the site. It is an awesome site. It is definitely where you're able to actually go in and navigate and get your questions answered. You see our home where we talk about the wealthy strategize, so it shows you where you can start. It tells about us. We talk about who we are. You'll find out more about that. We talk about the education piece, which is so important because each of the courses grants you a professional certification to increase your curricular value. In other words, you want to know what you're doing. You know, because there's nothing worse being in a new space and then trying to get the questions answered that you need. We've been operating with this trust now for over 3+ years. Me personally, that I have been a trustee of it. And here's the deal: going through this process, this was even before I met Ms. Brenda. I had to get questions answered that I didn't know. I was always calling, and I wanted to ask the accountant, wanted to ask the attorney, wanted to ask, and it could get expensive, ladies and gentlemen. So being that it is time consuming for them to take time just to answer my call, can you imagine all of the clients that we have now? And so it's taken a lot on our legal staff. It's taken a lot on our tax portion with Brenda and her team. And so that is what the birth of NTI came, because we wanted to make it to where if you have a question, we just be able to go to the resources and be able to tap in, join the membership, and then you're able to see exactly what is the question, what the frequently asked questions are that a lot of people have. Everyone wants to know, well, you know, how do I do this? And how do I do that? And but the first you have to register, you have to be a member. And then this is something else that's exciting about it, because to sit down and talk with Miss Brenda to get an hour consultation with her. I'm sorry, guys.
No.
The
595-3738.
beat.
Nice.
Okay, can you guys still hear me okay?
Yeah, if you allow me to say, if you allow me to be a co-host, I can help mute and monitor the line.
Yes, I'm just actually doing something real quick here. Hold on 1 second. I'm just gonna fix it where people will not be able to unmute themselves. Okay. I think I have it fixed where no one can unmute themselves. Okay, I believe I do. All right, so one thing that I love about also with the platform and with Cashflow NFT is that to have an hour consultation with Ms. Brenda or with the legal team, you're looking at anywhere, depending on the complexity of it, from $500 to $1,000 just to do that because of the time that it takes and what has to be done. As a member of the National Trust Institute, drum roll please, you are able to pay, in the case of Cashflow NFT, $2.99 a month for the membership, where you are able to have unlimited access. We're not going to word that out though, right? To be able to get your, number one, anything that is automated it's in 24/7, right? And you are able to still book time with a person to help you with your strategies or questions and things like that, if it's not already answered in the system. And so as a member of the National Trust Institute, we're here to show you how to navigate through that process. So the value of that is priceless. Trust me when I say that, because as you go through and as you grow your wealth, as you want to be able to pass this legacy on, you are going to have questions. There's a lot of things that you may decide. Do I need to give my daughter the money to buy the car, or should the trust buy the car to keep it from being a taxable event? Of course, the trust should buy the car. And so we're going to share you just little things like that. That seems very simple, but you'd be amazed at how many people they come and the kids say, Mom, I want to get a car. You want to give them a car for graduation or all this. And you send the money to their account so they can open up and start their own credit, all that stuff. Well, you just put them in a taxable situation. And we want to share with you how to become and how to teach your family to be trust fund babies. So guys, again, through the Cashflow NFT, you're able to get this membership for $2.99. And here's the deal. For those that were at the event, this is just for those at the event for this time frame, this next 14 days, they took it even a step further. It's $2.99 for the first month. And then you get out now. I got to make sure everybody's in agreement with this, because that's what they said to me. They hadn't told me if it's different. I'm sorry, but they said it was $2.99 for the first month, and for the next 2 months, you would get them free. That's what I was told. Don't shoot the messenger. So that is for the people that were at the event for the 14-day window. So the goal, ladies and gentlemen, is that we're excited to be launching the National Trust Institute along with Cashflow NFT. And we have, these are the perks and the benefits of membership. Membership has its privileges. I'm excited. All that you have to do now is get back with the person that had told you about this platform. In most cases, it was Cashflow NFT. They have a link that's going to be on your site where you can go in and actually log in and get the discount going through your back office of the Cashflow NFT, and you'll see the membership to sign up. And again, we have a 14-day window here starting from today. That's a beautiful thing. We're not starting back from when we were in Miami, right? Because the 14 days will be up. So we're not doing that. They're not doing that. But 14 days, $2.99, as well as for those that were at the event, to $24,000 to purchase the trust itself. We're excited, and get ready, ladies and gentlemen, for a life change event, and to be able to take a deep breath, to be able to exhale. Because as an entrepreneur, you're always inhaling and waiting to get that knock, waiting to get that letter, waiting to be someone trying to take your money. Well, here, we like to call this the peace of mind plan. I'm gonna say that again, the peace of mind plan. And there's nothing like peace, ladies and gentlemen. So guys, I wanna thank you all for this opportunity. If there's anything else to be said, again, I wanna thank Mr. OG Oscar Garcia for awesome. When you all get a chance to go into the website and look at it, and once you become a member, right, that's when it makes a difference. You'll be excited about what has been put together for you all, and why we're so excited to be able to roll it out and introduce it to you guys, and why we know that this is the piece that you all need. So with that being said, I'm going to, if they're opening up for questions, just real briefly, I'm gonna unmute everyone, I believe here, let's see. And open up for questions. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so if you have a question, for myself or for Ms. Brenda, just for a few moments, or for Oscar, we're gonna come off and you unmute yourself and then just ask a question. And if you will, go back on mute. And guys, if you don't have a question, please keep yourselves on mute so that we can hear the questions being asked. Are there any questions out there for tonight?
Clardy,
Yeah.
the biggest question, this is Kathy.
Hey,
The
Kathy.
biggest question, hi Del. The biggest question that's being asked in the chat is the 24 or 25,000, depending on if they were in Miami,
Uh-huh.
a one-time fee.
Yes, the answer to the question is yes. That is what we have to do at this point. Again, it used to be 35,000 at one time, but yes, but it is 24,000 to get everything set up at this time. As far as National Trust Institute is concerned, that is what is needed so that we can move everything through the processes and.
Real
get
quick,
everything
this is Ray Vidrio. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Ray. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm getting texts during this Zoom, and it is 24,000 for those of you who are in Miami between now and August 4th. After that, it goes to 25,000. It doesn't go to 35,000.
Yeah.
To walk into Brenda's office is 35 grand, but because
Correct.
you're part of the Cash Flow and Boogie Gopher Club, it is 25,000 after that. And again, that is commissionable. So I'm getting texts as far as like, do you got to be in the Cash Flow NFT site? Yeah, you got to be registered, especially to be commissioned, or else we wouldn't know how to commission it if you're not within our system. But for right now, Mike is gonna go back to the island and have a meeting as far as how we're gonna bring it into the back office in your website. Until then, yes, you can purchase it. We're just going to track it manually and with commission.
Perfect.
This is
So, yeah. And so that is with commissions that are being paid
Can
out
you put
on
your
that. And that
information
is
in the
coming
chat?
from,
Lady in
National Trust.
Australia is asking about setting up a time with you.
I'm sorry, say that again. I'm
I
sorry.
don't think Brenda knew she was unmuted.
Oh, okay.
I think Micah or Ray is gonna have to answer this question from Kimmy. Ray, do you see that? I have a UNA set up. I think that's what you guys were doing.
Yes, with the I don't see it, but with the UNA, it's another layer. You could put your UNA in if you want in your trust. It's just another layer. I had talked to Micah about that, and you could talk to Brenda a little bit more about that, but she also knows that yes, there are people who got the UNAs, but yeah, it's
Okay.
another layer of protection amongst your trusts.
this is Jack. I got 3 questions for you.
Okay,
Can you hear me?
I can, Jack.
Okay.
How are you?
I'm fine. I don't care about the price and the cost. That's irrelevant. To me, things that are important is can this trust be used internationally?
Yes, I think Ms. Brenda, when she first started talking, she kind of shared with you the story. Were you there when she shared the story about the gentleman in Sweden?
Actually, I was getting in my car, getting ready to drive home.
Okay.
So I may have missed that.
Yes. So yes, to answer your question is that yes, it can be used internationally. There's a strategy that we recommend, and as you set up to do it, you'll in your consultation with Ms. Brenda and her team, you will of course let it be known where you're coming from and the strategy, because every country, of course, is different, but we have a strategy of how to be able to utilize it in other countries.
Well, my reason for that question is when you say this trust is a contract should be accepted everywhere, because they do business country to country with contracts.
That is
So
correct.
that's the way I look at it.
Yeah, you are.
And my second question is this a statutory trust or is this a common law trust?
Common law.
I'm sorry, could you say that again?
Common law.
My law.
Okay, that's good. And my last question is, would you need multiple trusts with this? Because if you have everything in one trust or entity, if someone tries to sue that, they will go after everything in that. So so my question is, if you purchase different assets in order to protect them, will you need to have them separated into different trusts for protection purposes? So they only can go after that particular item. Let's say if you purchase an automobile and you had an accident, but it's underneath a trust that has only that automobile in it. That way they can't go after anything else. Is there a need for multiple ones? So that's a non-issue with this.
So I can answer that, Claudia.
Okay.
As far as protection is concerned, where you're stating a need to protect different assets, that's unnecessary in having additional trust. However, there are other tax strategies that may require you to have different types of trust. This particular trust can be obtained, such as a business trust, beneficial, and charitable. So there are different types you can attain for different strategies, but not merely for asset protection. The protection that this houses is much like a vault. You can put as many assets in it, and a person cannot go after suing this common law trust. So that means you recognize that. If they sue you, irregardless to whether the assets are in the trust or not, they cannot get the assets because they do not belong to you. Irregardless to how
Okay.
many is housed inside of this vault, so to speak.
Can you enhance the usage, or let me say it better, can you enhance the asset value of this trust by using it with a nonprofit or family foundation or something like that?
Absolutely. You're asking a lot of great questions. Absolutely. Those are things we could definitely strategize by, but most certainly the charitable trust, we do have strategies where we marry that particular trust to a 501c3 because IRC code says that if you have this foundation charitable trust set up, at the end of the year, you have to, by the law and by the rules of IRC code, is send 5% to a public 501c3. So we do marry them sometimes to individuals that are directors, maybe in a 501c3, and also have this trust. So those are some great questions. And yes, to answer that question, that is possible.
All right, thank you very much. That's all I have. I'm gonna mute myself out.
All right. Thank you very much. I see one of the questions, someone said, are we going to get a site to market the trust? Also, will we have a separate back office to track sales and marketing? That is going to come through the boogie. That's what I want to call it, the boogie down. I love that.
The Boogie Gopher Club.
Yeah, the boogie
All
go.
right.
I love that name.
Actually, Micah's heading back to the island in a few days. That's one of the things to on the agenda as far as logistically how we're going to do it. I know it's going to be in our back office soon, but as far as tracking, it'll be pretty simple.
Yeah, because we can we probably recommend an ID number for those and put that on the referral portion of the trust in the meantime. So yes, that is something that we do know that you're in great hands with OG and his team and the vision that Micah and Ray has. I'm sure we'll be able to accommodate that. And so the site that you're seeing here is our National Trust site. And what you'll love about it is that it talks about the courses that you're able to that you'll learn from as you become a member. And so, you know, when you look at how to legally avoid the taxes, the common trust types, all of the different things that are here, from spendthrift trust to parties to the trustee orientation, everything that you're going to need to be able to understand how to operate your trust, you'll see that back there. And as far as marketing goes, that's going to be something that we sure we can tie in and lock in, as Ray was saying. So yes, that will be something as we grow this incredible platform. Is there a possibility of getting an auditor under the trust? And if so, does your company represent me? What do you?
I do represent any of my clients in an audit. never had a problem with representing them in that. However, as far as the trust is concerned, over the multiple years that I've done it, as well as those that have mentored me, the trust has never been audited.
Awesome, awesome. Someone asked, can it be a smart contract? I think that is something that they are down the NTI 2.0, 3.0. That is something that they're working on. It's some exciting things that are coming down the pipeline. This is truly just the beginning of an incredible ride here. So those of you that I see your minds are, imaginations are rolling, and yes, we are. You have some great minds here that is going to put the things together that is going to make this a win-win for all of us.
Do you have 3 hands that are up? Rose, Karen, and Russ.
Okay, let's see. Okay, Miss Rose.
Hello, Rich. How are you? Good afternoon. Good
Doing
evening.
fantastic. Good to hear from you again. I remember you.
Yes, thank you. I have a question regarding membership. So in order to be a member, you pay as a member of Cashflow NFT. That's $2.99 per month, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So can I stop it anytime if I felt I don't need it?
Yes, that's it's not a it is a month-to-month
Optional. Yeah, it's
month-to-month option.
optional.
Yes.
Correct. Now, okay, let's see. I like a trust set up. I've been to Miami, 24K. When is that 24K payable?
And it's when ordered. It has to be done between now and the October the 4th, I believe, is the date that they gave us. After that, it'll go to 25.
Sorry,
Not October,
that was August.
August,
What did I say?
August.
You said October, August 4th.
Praise
Very
God.
graceful.
I meant August. I meant August.
August 4th, isn't it?
August 4th, yes.
Right.
August 4th. Okay, so is there in the website that the 24K has been itemized as me, as one consumer? Hey, Sirich, I wanted, what are inclusive items in there? I'm a consumer. I'm not an educator about this. So what's in it for me? I know you talk about the whole thing, but if I like to see an itemized, what I get from the 24K, where will I see it? In the
That is,
website.
you will be able to, because that's going to be a special pricing for the NFT, the Cashflow NFT. But you will, when you make the purchase, everything will be there on that particular page. So you will see all the things that come with that.
Okay, now, since I got this 24K irrevocable trust, any further need of work that I need inside the trust, or is there any need that I have to do some amendments or changes? Is there any future amount of money that I need to spend once I set up this trust with a cost of 24K?
That is, you will get the actual setup of the trust. All of your assets will be moved into the trust or sold to the trust. They'll walk you through all of those steps. The key part to what we're talking about with the membership, that's the reason why you want the membership. Without the membership, there could be a cost on anything that is outside of the realm of what will already be done in the initial setup. With the membership, you are able to, that's the reason why we created this, because once a person sets the trust up and has everything in place, everything is done, but then you come back a year from now and you decide, or 6 months from now, and you decide you want to move certain things around and add all those things. Being a part of the NTI, there will be no cost there. Without being a part of it, there could be costs associated depending on what is needed. So that's one of the reasons that we encourage everyone to get the Institute, and the reason that it was even created, because of situations like what you're saying here, because sometimes in business, as you know, things can get complex, and you may have all types of things that you want to change up and move out partnerships and dissolve company, all this stuff. So all of that would be an additional, but through the membership, all of that is taken care of.
Yeah, but it doesn't cost without money, because if I see myself paying $299 per month per membership, that will cost me $3,500 a year. And to maintain or to have access to any questions in my trust, that cost me $3,500. So it doesn't mean it's free. It still costs money, right?
Well, yeah, I didn't say that it was free. I said that it was a part of the membership.
Benefit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a benefit with a fee, correct?
Right, correct.
Okay.
That's right.
So with that, with the $299, would that be considered like now I have a membership with another one with a legal consultation? Let's just, for example, $50 a month. So I have access, I need a question to a lawyer. So I call a lawyer that specializes in the field of immigration. So that's inclusive of free questions. That's inclusive of 7 pages documents review. That's inclusive of $50. So
Right.
my $99 is just an open window for me to ask you questions for help, how to do this inside the trust that I paid $24K already.
Yes. So what this is that is for when you're talking about two separate things, of course, when you talk about what is out there as far as immigration is concerned, and as
No,
far
that's just the example for me. That's
right. And, yeah,
I have access to those. But
Correct.
with the $99, yeah, if I go to your tab of membership within your site, would I see the details of the benefits that you're talking about?
Correct. Yes, you would.
I'll go there and educate myself. Then if I have any further question, I have a future meeting that's happening soon, then I can add questions then.
Correct. And you can correct. And you can request through the platform an opportunity to speak with someone or chat for additional things that may not be answered in the frequently asked questions or in the educational piece. But that's what we're there for. We're there to make sure that those questions are answered. Of course, when you look at what we're dealing with, when you talk about business and legacies and assets and all of the protections that come with that, it's a little bit more complex than certain things are, and everything is different, like I said. So,
Correct.
so yes, so it's the $299 for that, and then being able to have access and have those things at your fingertips. That's the power of, again, I've had this trust without, or been a trustee to a trust without NTI, and having access to Ms. Brenda has been a lifesaver for me, but I can't get her all the time because of why? She has hundreds of clients. And, you know, and so I have to wait my turn, but sometimes we get impatient. So in this case, it's awesome to be able to put your finger on something and get your questions answered, or be able to get a chat, or be able to make sure that you're making the right move. So that's the reason why we really push the membership. And again, the amount for the trust is the cost of what it took over 12 years of putting this particular trust that fits just about every scenario and situation that is out there, and from asset protection as well as tax avoidance. So what you're paying for when we talk about the trust is just the entire trust and all of the intellectual property that went in the time to put that together with the law firms and all that. So that's what you're paying for there. Ongoing usage and how to be able to navigate and go through, that is in addition to what may happen, because everybody has different situations.
All right, great. Now, I have a question to Ray. Ray, are you there? Mr. Ray, the VP guy?
Yes, I am.
Anyway, I have just a question. If 24K is commissionable, how about the 299 membership? Is it commissionable?
No, not that. I'm talking to Mike about that. We're gonna get with Brenda. We have different ideas on on that, but again, not right now.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome, Rose. Thank you. Good to hear from you again.
Hi, this is
Jack.
Aurora. Oh, oops. It's Aurora. I have a question. If someone is not in cash flow NFT and we want to sell it, the trust to them outside of cash flow for 35,000, will that be, how does that work? And can it work? Or is it just for anyone that has a membership in cash flow NFT?
So that is a great question, in that the powers that be between Ray and Micah, as well as Ms. Brenda, and the will determine.
Yes, you have to be part of cash flow.
Yes, they have to be a part of cash flow. There you
They
go.
have to be
Yeah.
part of cash flow. But what if, I'm like, my sister is interested in something like this, but she's not in cash flow. So could I bring her to Brenda and?
Well, you can still take it through. The price point is what he was referring to, as far as it has to be a part of cash flow. To get that 25,000 price point, then yes, that's coming through cash flow. Going through outside of cash flow still can come through cash flow, and we'll talk about that, but you will not, they won't be able to get that pricing. It will be the 35,000
Right.
price point there.
See,
But
right
would I-
now,
but
right now we have no stipulations as far as like, okay, they have to have an NFT to purchase. No.
Right.
Just register them within the cash flow, and then they'll have the discount.
Gotcha. There you go.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right. That makes sense. Thank you. Thanks, Ray.
There you go. I knew he'd figure it out. I'm glad you're here, Ray. Any other questions? Let me see.
Well, this is Jack again. I just want to make a comment to, I'm not the expert in taxes here, but I would think that anything that you purchase, like that recurring monthly expense, should be tax deductible, because it would be an expense to the trust. as far
Absolutely.
as-
You're
It's an
absolutely-
educational, it's an
Well,
educational.
that's a
expense.
non-issue.
You're absolutely right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I
was
do
gonna
have a
bring
little
that
bit
up,
of
but-
background in trust, so not, and I've been doing it for years, even down to the corporate soul. So certain things that I know and certain things that should occur or happen. So, the expense, that monthly expense should be a non-concern, actually.
There you go.
Any kind of expense that you do, that you're gonna use for the operation and utilization of that trust should be tax deductible, you
Yeah.
know, so
It will.
you don't worry about that kind of stuff. That's petty. Excuse me, I gotta go, but that's it.
Okay.
And also, I just want to just reiterate, Claudia, to everyone that's still on. We will continue to educate, and I love how our Director of Education has what's called empowering extras. And what that means is when I get to go to IRS conferences, and we'll be trailblazers for you. We'll keep you informed right here on the National Trust Institute of all the things that are happening, whether it be with the dollar, whether it be with corporations, things such as FedNow, things such as the Corporate Transparency Act. We all need to be aware of that. We all need to know what are they doing and what are they looking for. So when we get to go to those conferences, me and my team, we get to hear the inside scoop. But what we can do is come back to National Trust and put it in layman's terms to help you out and say, this is what we need to be looking for as a community. This is what's happening behind the scene. So those things, they're passing laws, but we need to know and understand them so we can know how to navigate and move within the laws. And on this platform, not saying any other professional can or any other practitioner can, but I do know that this is what we're going to be doing to assist our members to stay ahead of the curve in these areas.
All right, real quick, this is Russell Daniels. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir, Russ. Go ahead.
Hey, listen, great call, man. I really appreciate the information. Quick question. Okay, so this particular trust is set up more as a protection trust, correct?
It's on both sides, protection and tax strategy as well.
Okay, so will this lower my tax down to zero, or would I need to set up a charitable trust to get it down to zero?
No, you're able to, it'll get you as far as it, as low as it can, and that's still through the trust itself. There may be reasons to have a charitable trust, and we just have to actually look at your particular situation, because everyone's different, and determine if you need a charitable trust or not. So if you're an employee, or if you own your own business, there are strategies for that. So we'll set up time with you on consultation, but this is a protection asset as well as a tax strategy as well for both of those. Yes.
Right. If I did need to set up a charitable trust, that would be an additional fee for that second trust.
Correct.
That is correct.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hello, this is Harold. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can. And after Harold, we have Karen. Karen has had her hand raised. Karen, I don't think she answered her question yet. So after Harold, go ahead, then we'll take Karen. And guys, with that, we're gonna end the call out of respect for everyone's time. If you will, we will have a email that is posted in the chat that you are able to email questions to. And if you will, Mr. Tanya, if you will post that in the chat for us so that everyone can get that email, and you can put any other questions that you may have there. So go ahead, Harold.
Yeah, we'll do a
yes.
follow-up. This is Ray. I have to jump off. I have to go on another Zoom, but we'll do a follow-up.
Okay, great. Thank you
Okay.
very much. It's Ray. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Okay, yes. Who will be doing the paperwork? You guys gonna do all the paperwork and take it to the lawyers, or y'all going to walk us through
No,
how to do the paperwork?
we'll be doing helping you do all the paperwork.
Okay, okay. All right. Thank you.
You're very welcome. And Karen, you're the last one.
Hi, thanks. I just had to unmute. I think actually most of my questions got answered. I was just gonna ask Ray, but maybe you know. So did I hear correctly that the commission is 4,000 on the first level, 2 on the second, and 1,000 on the third? Is that right?
I do
Correct.
believe that's correct.
Okay, and then will that stay the same? Because you've got the people that went to Miami, they get it for 24. When the price goes up to 25,000, same commission,
Yeah,
or
that-
does that change?
That's probably gonna be the same.
Same commission. Okay, and then I guess we will, if we want to hear more again, we would catch you.
Yeah, and we will
Again.
start having regular calls that you can, but then also, again, we don't want to delay anyone that's ready to get started. We do have the window here from now to the 4th of August. So those that are ready to get started, okay, here it is. You want to connect with us at the client experience at NTI.network. Again, that's the client experience at NTI.network. And it is in the chat. If you would please copy that, and you can have any other questions, but then also for those that are ready to get your trust set up now, you can also do that, set up a consultation, and we can get you set up. You're ready to start your membership. You can do that as well. We are open for business and look forward to serving you.
Great, thank you.
Thank you guys very much. If there are no other questions, again, I want to thank the team. We got an awesome team. You will get a chance to meet all of them. I think you got a chance to meet Ms. Jackie when we were there at the event. I want to thank her. I want to thank Mr. Tanya Brown. I want to thank Mr. Jason, Dr. Jason Pluckett. I want to thank Miss BB Hill, cannot forget her. And we got the people in the background, my brother Jamie, man, he's doing his thing, and Jay, and we have a whole team here to support you guys, you know. And last but not least, cannot forget the original, the OG himself. We thank him for coming in and stepping up and really putting this whole platform together for us. We're excited what God has in store for all of us. And so with that being said, if there's no other questions, Ms. B, you have anything else you want to say?
No, thanks everyone for coming, and good night.
All right. Thank you guys. Have a fantastic evening, and let's see you get these memberships set up. All right. God bless.
God bless.
This call is officially over.